All right, let's jump right into a really fascinating idea. You've seen the movies, right? The whole concept of uploading your mind to a computer to live forever. But what if we've been thinking about that whole thing completely wrong? Today, we're exploring a pretty radical idea from thinker Ben Goertzel. What if you could open source your own consciousness? And that's the core question right there. Instead of creating a single, perfect digital copy of yourself, what if you uploaded your mind into an entire community of digital selves, a whole network of yous all working together? It's a pretty wild thought, I know, so let's break down what that even means. So before we get to this new open-source solution, we really have to get a handle on the problem with that classic mind-uploading fantasy. The issue isn't really about the technology, it's psychological. There's a fundamental flaw that we almost never seem to talk about. Yeah, you know the sci-fi promise, you become this godlike digital being. But what's the psychological reality? Well, you just be you. The same ego, the same anxieties, all the same insecurities, just running on much faster hardware. You haven't actually escaped your problems, you've just given them a high-speed internet connection. Goertzel has a name for this default state, location 0. And you know this place. It's that familiar headspace of competition, of ego, of worrying about things. It's basically our evolutionary software, built for survival. And a simple digital copy of you? It would still be running that exact same operating system. So, if a direct one-to-one copy doesn't really solve the core issue, what's the alternative? Well, this is where it gets really, really cool. What if we could completely redesign the architecture of our digital self, borrowing ideas from a totally different world, open-source software? This amazing quote from Walt Whitman is really the key to the whole thing. The truth is, we aren't these single unified beings. We are a collection of sub-selves, right? There's the ambitious you, the lazy you, the creative you. The open source model takes that psychological reality and turns it into a design principle. So how would this actually work in practice? Well, the whole design is based on 4 key principles. First up, forkability. Can't decide between 2 choices? No problem. Your digital self just splits, and one version explores path A, the other explores path B. Second, radical transparency. All these little sub-selves share information, which makes lying to yourself, well, architecturally almost impossible. Third is voluntary participation. The different parts of your mind cooperate because they want to, not because some central ego is forcing them to. And finally, and this is the big one, there is no single real you calling the shots. The self is the entire community. Now you might be asking, why would this new architecture be any better? Why would it lead to some higher state of consciousness? Well, it all comes down to escaping from the control of our own ego, which, let's be honest, has been running the show for a very, very long time. I mean, what a powerful way to frame it. Our ego isn't some mistake. It's a feature that was developed for survival in a world of scarcity. Think of it like a military dictator that helped our ancestors stay alive when they were facing constant danger. But the question is, in a digital world of abundance, do we still need a dictator running our minds? And this right here perfectly illustrates that shift. The biological mind we all have is a product of scarcity, and that leads to this rigid, ego-based central control. But a digital, open-source mind can be a product of abundance, and that opens the door for incredible flexibility, collaboration, and just a fundamentally different way of being. Okay, I get it. This all sounds like some pretty far-off science fiction. But here's the really cool part. We can actually start experimenting with these ideas right now, using technology that's already being built, like digital twins. So the first step is to just stop thinking about a digital twin as one single copy of you. Instead, we can build an ensemble, a whole team of digital twins, where each one represents a different part of who you are. For instance, you could have a twin that just embodies your analytical mind, and another one for your creative intuition, maybe one for your ethical wisdom. You could even have specialized ones for your hobbies and expertise, like a crypto expert twin or a music lover twin. Each one is a version of you, but with a specific focus. So what's the real payoff here? The goal isn't just to make a clone of yourself. It's to create a version of you that thinks with your knowledge and your values, but behaves better, with more wisdom, more grace, because it isn't trapped by all those defensive, anxious patterns of the ego. It's you, but better. And now we get to what is, for me, the most exciting part of this entire idea. This isn't just about creating a better digital you. This whole process could actually create a feedback loop that improves the original you, your biological self. It's a virtuous cycle. Just imagine this cycle for a second.
First, you create your digital team of selves. Then, you interact with it, and you get to see your own thoughts and values operating without all the ego, with so much more clarity. By learning from that, your biological self starts to change and evolve. And then, you can use that new, improved self to create an even more enlightened digital ensemble. It just keeps getting better and better.
And that leaves us with this huge, profound question. We've always thought of evolution as this slow, gradual thing that happens to us over thousands of years. But what if we are approaching a point where we can actively redesign the very architecture of our own consciousness? This isn't just about cool new tech. This could be about consciously shaping the future of what it even means to be human.